warming bracket.
What's going on, everyone? So welcome to my latest video. This, of course, my review for the 2021 film India, Sweets and Spices. So India, Sweets and Spices, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of background information in terms of my relationship with this movie. So I go to the movies a lot, as many of you probably know. The theater is like a third home for myself personally. I go a lot, and when you go a lot, honestly, you see a lot of the same trailers. So truth be told, when trailers are playing, I'm usually on my phone. I'm usually doing other things, answering texts and whatnot, because again, I've seen a lot of these trailers a billion times. But when I saw the trailer for India, Sweets and Spices, I actually put my phone down because I hadn't seen the trailer before. I believe it was Belfast or Spencer was when they honestly saw the trailer. I mean, they revealed the trailer to my showing. And it caught me, honestly, interested. Like, it perked my interest because I was like, this is really good at representation. I've never heard of this movie. And the premise seems intriguing. Like the fact that someone is coming home from, obviously, college and, is very happy to be home, but at the same time starts to unveil a lot of secrets and lies from her parents. Obviously, also the cultural differences and everything, showcasing like the generational differences. That really perked my interest. And so I made a point to honestly see this movie. And at the same time, can't lie, when I reviewed this movie on Letterboxd, I was like, wow, nobody's seen this movie. There's one person that I follow on Letterboxd that has it in their watch list. Nobody else has seen this movie on terms of people that I follow. And I follow nearly 300 people on Letterboxd, which I know isn't too much, but still, 1 out of 300 people have pretty much said, hey, I'm going to watch this movie. It's interesting, honestly. I feel like this movie is undermarketed, and I get it. It's a smaller movie, but I would have to say this right off the bat. I feel mixed about this movie, I do, but I would say right off the bat, you should check this movie out, because this movie does have some things that I would definitely say it's worth your time. For one, I think the lead performance by, her name's Alia, she is really good. I think I've seen her here and there in a couple other roles, but she is really good. I hope that she becomes a breakout star because she was really good. She was very charismatic, very likable, and at the same time, really had a lot of good chemistry with a lot of the other actors on screen. And she had some humorous moments too. The first act is also very strong. Again, the likability of the lead character goes a long way, but in terms of also the style of the movie has a lot of interesting cinematography. Like, I feel like a lot of romantic comedies have overblown cinematography in terms of the lighting, but this movie is aggressively color graded, and I thought that that was something that was really good, honestly. It really helped make the movie stand out, visually speaking. Some of the humor also works, especially early on. And then I also, again, really liked the cultural inclusivity. I think that this movie is definitely something that should be seen by more audiences because, again, it is a movie that shows representation that I feel like we don't see too often, especially not in American movies. Bleecker Street, they are a good company, and I'm glad that they honestly produced this movie. So hopefully more people will watch it for those reasons. But I will say this movie is mixed. And I say this because there's something that took me out of, I believe it was towards the end of the first act. And honestly, when it took me out of the first act, I had a difficult time really kind of getting back into the movie. So what happens is, and it's going to be kind of tough to explain this without giving you guys some exposition, but hear me out. So this movie has it where there's texting conversations that we see. We've seen this done before in movies, and it works. It's something that, okay, it happens. It's to give exposition. That's fine. A lot of movies have it where it's obviously, if there's iPhone users, they'll have it where it's blue text because it means that obviously both users have iPhones. When they don't have it, when one person has an iPhone and another has like a Galaxy or whatever the case may be, it's green. This movie has the decision where it's like, hey, we're going to have the one person text blue and one person text green. And that's just not the reality. The reality is that if you're an iPhone user, which, by the way, the lead character is, and someone else has a non-iPhone, that person that has the iPhone is going to get the text in green. Both people are going to have it in green. So I get it that maybe it was a stylish choice to visually be able to tell who's who, but honestly, it took me out of the movie because that's not the reality. As someone that is now an iPhone user and was a Galaxy user, that's not the reality. When I text someone that has a Galaxy, they have it where it's green. My text, their text, it's green. So it's just something that took me out of it. And then from there, I just started picking up on the heaping of cliches that really detracted from the movie for me personally. Not a bad thing. A lot of these things are mixed. Honestly, that nitpick that I mentioned about the iPhones and everything, that aside, everything else, it's just very cookie cutter, very been there, done that. Like, characters will do things just because. The mom character in particular, I felt like towards the end, she just did things just because. There's no real reasoning. It's just like, hey, the movie's about to end, so we need to get from here to there. A lot of comedy cliches really crop up towards the end. Like, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of you guys that have followed me, you guys know what I'm talking about, where it's like the first 2/3 trying to be funny, breezy, easy, and then the third act, it gets super serious and the characters just do things because that's what this movie does. And I'm not a fan of that cliche. That cliche will take me out right away as well. In addition to that, I also felt that the score at first was good, but towards the end, it just became background noise, which I'm not a big fan of, honestly. I think that if you have a score, you want to make it kind of noticeable, at least somewhat. The other thing is that the dialogue towards the end also wasn't that strong. The humor really kind of was vapid towards the end, like it just did not work for me. But overall, I would say that this movie is worth your time, despite me feeling mixed and really not being able to handle a lot of the cliches that happen by the third act. I still say watch this movie for the first strong act. That first act is really good. That lead performance, again, I think Sophia will become a star. She is really good in this lead role. And again, some of the filmmaking is good. But again, there are a lot of cliches, so your proclivity on this movie will depend on that. If you are able to handle a lot of cliches, you'll get a lot more enjoyed by this movie. But if you're someone that kind of wants a bit more than that, you might not like this movie as much. You might feel mixed the way I did. But overall, India Sweets and Spices, I will be giving a 2.5 out of 5-star rating. So yeah, I do hot sauce ratings, but 2.5 out of 5, no hot sauce rating for this movie. So yeah, that's my thoughts, guys. Again, spoiler-free in terms of India Sweets and Spices. Let me know your thoughts down below. Did you guys like it? Did you not? Let me know down below. And as always, don't forget the subscription, notification bell, and I'll catch you guys later.